Harbaugh now heads to the Los Angeles Chargers.
He wins everywhere. He wins, period.
Justin Herbert, he's a crown jewel.
Well, you guys better enjoy this.
Quick snap, Herbert to throw. Has a man, touchdown!
The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin.
Herbert on the move and throws and touchdown.
I was just trying to show off.
We're going to be known as world champions. And we're going to do it or die trying. Don't let the powder blues fool you.
Who's got it better than that?
Well, hey there, folks. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my buddy, Kev Huggin Duggan.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, not too much. Oh, folks, it's another week without Kyle the Coach Duggan. He's working through something.
Yeah.
All I'm at liberty to say.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor. I just want to, first and foremost, I cannot comment on things I don't know about.
He's just working through something.
Just working through something.
He'll be
Quit asking me, Pauper. I don't know where Coach is.
Yeah.
I don't know when he'll be back.
We haven't put him on IR, okay? Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, just calm your tits.
So, folks, there's a few things that's been rumbling around for us to talk about this week, and we've got a return of the Craig experience and an Ask Boltfam lined up for you, so let's waste no time. Start at the top.
It happened again, dude.
I didn't even watch the game, and I knew.
You could feel it.
I knew what was going to happen. I didn't watch it.
Energy in the state.
I just kept checking on Google, like, what's the score? Okay.
Great.
What's the score? Okay.
Okay.
All right. And what's the final score? Yeah, saw that coming. And just the outrage, the explosion on Twitter /X.
Everyone wanted the Bills to win. Everyone. So the fact is that, like, they always have these kind of controversial calls during these Chiefs games.
Yeah.
And they're just the luckiest dudes. And hey, good on them for being lucky, I guess. Hopefully they're just tapping all that out. It's going to be done after this season because, dude, like, what do you do?
I mean, especially in the AFC West now, and we'll get to more of the AFC West here shortly, but it is just baffling that the Chiefs get in. The Eagles game was at least seemed somewhat exciting for some of it.
Poor Austin Eckler.
Yeah,
Poor
just
Austin.
some big mistakes, I think, that derailed that game for the Commanders. But
I wanted that. I wanted them, and I wanted the Bills. That would have been like my ideal Super Bowl.
And you got none of it.
Yeah,
you get nothing. You lose.
Good day,
sir. So yeah, it's another who gives a shit Super Bowl. Sound the trumpets, ring the bells. It's happening again.
We can be Eagles fans for a day.
I mean, I don't even know if I'll watch the game, to be honest. It might be another, what's the score? Okay,
cool.
Okay. Because the NFL, folks, it's kind of weird because we see that the finalists for the comeback player of the year, we see Joe Burrow, Sam Darnold, J.K. Dobbins, Christian Gonzalez, and Damar Hamlin listed there, so that's awesome to see J.K. Dobbins.
I think J.K. has the best. He's not the most popular guy on this list. Obviously, like Sam Darnold and Joe Burrow are quarterbacks, but in terms of guys that were injured, beyond injured, moved to a new team, were beyond injured, came back and not only overcame the position, but overcame the injuries and played amazing. I don't know how you don't pick J.K. Dobbins, but I'm biased.
I mean, Damar Hamlin is, I think, another big name on there if you take that critique as well, because, I mean, his was a nationwide story.
But he's not a Charger.
I understand. I'm just saying. I want J.K.
Quit making
Dobbins
good, valid points.
I want J.K. Dobbins to get this more than anything else because I think he deserves it. He's just the happiest guy in the whole world. Every time he's on an interview, the guy's just all smiles, giggling and laughing with Kay Adams. It's just so fun to watch. So fingers crossed for Mr. Dobbins. But the most baffling, the most head shaking, the most head scratching, the most what are we even doing here, folks, is the Coach of the Year and Assistant Coach of the Year finalists. And not a Harbaugh or a Mentor among them.
The fact that there's five coaches and Sean Payton got in there.
Sean Payton getting in there is insane. No. I don't get that at all. I don't.
We won more games than they did this
year.
We
beat them twice.
We swept them.
We beat them twice, and yet no Harbaugh, but a Sean Payton. That's
the only one that's super annoying. The Andy Reid one's just annoying because, like, okay, whatever.
Okay, yeah, sure.
But the Sean Payton's like, dude, really? Over Harbaugh?
Yeah.
I don't know. We sound like petty, annoying Charger fans right now, but it's just kind of ridiculous.
As far as like turning a team around, and that is all from coaching. Like, this isn't like, oh, well, we drafted our special quarterback like the Broncos did, and now all of a sudden we're a good team. Like, this is a coach that took a team, 5-win team, to an 11-win team. That has to be acknowledged. And the fact that they refused to put him on there, and the fact that we had the defense that allowed the fewest points in the NFL, and Jesse Minter's not an assistant coach finalist, make it make sense.
I can't. I'm not the guy to help you with that because it doesn't make sense.
Somebody help me.
I just need to chalk it up to tomfoolery because that's all this is.
Roger Goodellary is more like it, but
yeah,
it's whatever. It's stupid. This is all stupid. Why do we do this? Let's see. Adam Schefter tweeting out 9-time Pro Bowl linebacker Khalil Mack, who said after the Chargers postseason loss to the Texans that he needed to take some time to mull his future, will indeed play in the 2025 season per source, but Mack's contract is up and he is scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent.
I don't think this is a problem. I think he's going to be a Charger.
It's no problem.
The way he talked about the team, why, if you're the very tail end of your career, you're going to just go jump on a team for 1 year. Like we're doing something special. And he was more outspoken and fun this year than he had been in previous years. So, you don't want to move the kids out of their school. Like keep them where they are.
I agree. I think he's got roots now.
Yeah.
And there's no reason, I think, to go anywhere else. And I mean, the fact that he wants to play, I think, is now a signal to Ortiz and the front office to be like, all right, let's get this deal done. Let's figure this out.
Lasso that one and pull him in.
Let's nail this down and move forward. Because we still got a bunch of other contracts to figure out as well.
A lot.
But as we mentioned, the AFC West is just looking crazy now because as it came out, the Raiders' new head coach, a familiar face to any football fan, Pete Carroll, and the Raiders have reached an agreement on a 3-year deal with a 4th-year team option to make him the team's head coach. Sources tell Adam Schefter.
Yeah, the AFC West, there's some crazy. It's just, and it's fun because they have him and Harbaugh have a little bit of rivalry since the Stanford SC days, where the little interaction after the game where it was Pete Carroll was like, "You got a problem? Which problem, dude?" Because he ran the score up on him. So it's just like the fact that I just don't understand when we're finally getting everything we need.
This has to happen.
It's just everything keeps happening like this. Like, it's like we're finally, stars are aligning and it's just more piling on. And granted, I'm not worried about the Raiders anytime soon. Like, no, there's a lot to fix over there, but he is a good coach and he's won a lot of football games. So,
yeah.
The only, I was thinking about it, the only way I can really see the positive of this is like maybe these teams can maybe start pulling some wins off of the Chiefs.
Sure.
It can't just be us trying to win and sweep them. Like, even if we split with them, you're still going to need some AFC West help. Like, if nothing else, maybe this division just gets evened out a little bit eventually, but the Raiders are still going to suck. It's just what they do.
Yeah. It just shows now that the AFC West is not just like a juggernaut of a division, but coaching wise, it's incomparable, I think, to any other division.
It seemed like a panic pick a little bit to me because he is an older dude. He's 70, mid-70s, but it's like, look at all the coaches in here in the AFC West. Like you got to bring somebody in.
One of these guys doesn't fit. Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, this this is not. It's like the usual suspects, and it's like Kaiser Soze walking out like limping. Like that is not the guy.
You're sitting back there going, huh. Maybe we should do something about this.
Weird. Maybe we should hire somebody that belongs with these other coaches. So
yeah,
a lot of Super Bowl appearances underneath their belts. Like it's crazy. Like the coaching win percentage, appearances in the playoffs, wins. Like the AFC West is just exploding with these stats now from these coaches. So
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see what the next year brings. But I mean, we do know that they kind of ruined their NFL draft chances. They're like, what? I can't remember where they are, but they had a chance to be like the number 1 overall pick, but they're now like in
Pierce,
8 or 7 or something like that.
Pierce went rogue and decided that he was going to go out and set the thing ablaze.
Yeah, so nothing to be too concerned about yet, but it's a tough division, folks. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be fun and exciting. Competitors are welcome, and you are welcome to check out our sponsor this week, Underdog Fantasy. The best app for your big game party is actually on your phone. Did you know that? It's called Underdog. Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes during the big game. Which players are going off? Which ones are ice cold? Make your entries in just a few taps. And with their Pick'em game, you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats like yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and more. Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button. There's a Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. With Underdog's double flex option, you can even take 2 L's, turn them into a win, a W.
So they're really trying to lure me in to watch this Super Bowl. Is what
they're trying
to do. Like that, because this is the only way I can have fun with watching that game.
Right.
So, and I did pretty well this last weekend.
Yeah.
60, 62,
60
Buccarinos.
smackers, some mullions, some moolah.
So
love that.
It's been a good back-to-back weekends for me. So I ain't never gonna stop.
There you go, folks. If Kev can do it, come on.
Yeah,
you guys can do it.
You can definitely do it.
So download the app today and use code CCHAT to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Must be 18 years or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, and 19 years or older in Colorado for some games, 21 years or older in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. And after you're done making those kick-ass picks, you can head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/ChargerChat. Check out all the fun, silly things that are happening over there. What silly things, you ask? You got to go check it out. Patreon.com/ChargerChat. And as usual, folks, we need to shout out our newest Patreon members, and that is no exception for today. We got to shout out, I believe we've seen this guy's name before in Ask Boltfam, so correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this is J. Ponce Enrile? Enrile?
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us at patreon.com/ChargerChat. But if you want to go over there, it's totally fine. Yeah. Going over to our regular website, chargerchat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we got over there, like t-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in the members section and ask questions and ask both fams. Go check out chargerchat.com. All right, folks. He's back. He's better than ever. He's rejuvenated. It's a whole new off season for this guy.
He's probably pissed about
And
the Chiefs.
he might be a little pissed, but let's go to him to find out. I'm talking about the Craig experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh,
Craig experience.
hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
Well, howdy ho, folks. How we doing out there? Season has concluded. We've had a couple of weeks to reflect just a tad bit. I know the end of the year was not what we expected, and I tell you what, it was definitely rough. So I feel your pain, but I had a little bit of a chance to lick my wounds here and got some perspective. Just given these last few weeks, there's been time to sit back and reflect on everything that took place over this year and maybe take inventory of what this team, this organization is looking like moving forward and what there is to be proud of and where they can improve. So we'll break all of that down today. And with that said, how rude of me. CC gang, the biggest of salutes, and to the rest of the Bolt fam, was goody. Chicago Craig in Texas, and welcome to this first off-season edition of the TCE. Let's break it all down, shall we? Could we rehash some of what took place in the Chargers' loss against the Texans in the wildcard round? Sure. Are we? Hell no. This ain't exactly therapy, even though we do treat it like that from time to time, but I'm not trying to rehash a bunch of trauma. I don't want to relive that. You folks probably don't want to either. We're all tempting to move on, so let's do that. Although I will say, one of the coolest parts about the game in general, other than being there with my 11-year-old, was meeting up with my guy, Kev Huggin Duggan. And, story time, folks. So we show up to the stadium. Colin had literally just eaten like an hour before we got there. And we meet up with Kev in kind of the breezeway area. And lo and behold, it takes place right in front of a funnel cake stand. And naturally, Colin, being a kid, decides he wants a funnel cake right then and there. And I tell him, hey, buddy, let's just wait until halftime. You just ate. Don't want you to get an upset stomach. And he was like, kind of a little pouty about it. Kev sees him and is like, nah, we're doing this now. It's his first Chargers game. I got it. And Kev, just want you to know my son now thinks you're one of the coolest individuals on the planet. So you have a new fan. But anyway, yeah. So definitely cool meeting up with my guy. Again, that's as far as I'm going into the game. Loved having the experience with my son. Not a whole lot to take away from it in a positive way. So let's just keep moving forward, like I mentioned. Instead, how about we just talk about the season on the whole? And we can start with what went right. Jim Harbaugh, sir, I want to say thank you for bringing your aura to this organization. The fact that he walks through the door day one and the culture changes should be no surprise to you because he does it wherever he goes. He's just a winner, and it happened already. Year one with the Chargers. You take a 5-win team last year to an 11-win this year, and there's hope moving forward. You talk about Justin Herbert and the way that he was much more demonstrative this year. You saw him become more of a vocal leader, and I think that has a lot to do with what Jim Harbaugh has instilled in him. He's probably told him on numerous occasions, hey man, we go as you do. You are our guy, you're the face, and I'm empowering you to go out there and be the guy. So get it done. And you saw Herbert barking at guys when they were out of position. If plays didn't happen the way that they were scripted, guys weren't on cue the way that they needed to be, you saw Justin getting on their cases. And hey, he felt comfortable in doing it, and no one took offense to it because everyone respects him as the leader of the squad. We talk about rookies. You got Ladd McConkey with a phenomenal rookie season. Again, I expected Ladd to be a high-level contributor this year, but nothing to this degree. When he was drafted, I was a little disappointed because I was looking for a different body type, someone who was a little bit more of a vertical threat, but they made all the right moves. You're getting a second-round player who you traded up for that gave you first-round production. Between he and Joe Ortiz, they knocked this one out of the park. Also, with their first-round pick in Joe Alt, who performed at what I believe to have been a Pro Bowl level. And that's not something that just happens. I mean, offensive linemen have one of the toughest jobs in the league. And you're also talking about a guy who played mostly left tackle in college, who flips over to the right side and performs swimmingly, man. There was little to no drop off in his game from what you saw at Notre Dame to the NFL. And I expect that to just continue to get better and better. You got 5th-round rookies who weren't expected to do much of anything in Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart. And Tarheeb still looks like he's going to be special. He was someone that I had eyes on in training camp that would eventually take over Jasir Taylor's role. I think that was one of my predictions to start the year, that he would be like the starting slot corner by midseason. And honestly, it would have happened. It was trending that way, but there were a lot of injuries. And so Jasir had to play more than what I think they wanted to. But you could see when guys were whole, they were actively doing what they could to work him off of the field and keep him as like a core special teamer. So it was, again, trending in that direction, but attrition kind of got in the way just a bit. But again, you're getting 5th-round, high-level contributing starters. And tip of the cap once again to Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh for coaching these guys, selecting these guys, and also having faith in your coaching staff to help develop them. That's winning culture, and this is how you build teams. We all kind of felt a way about the Joe Alt pick. Many of us did, because hearing Jim Harbaugh refer to offensive linemen as weapons sounded quirky, but it's Jim Harbaugh. Ultimately, I can't imagine who would have stepped in at right tackle and performed better than Joe Alt this season. And where I was like a big Malik Neighbors fan, truth of the matter is that If you're just getting slaughtered off the edge, then how effective could Malik Neighbors have actually been? So when you look at it in totality, you got a franchise. Well, now you got bookend tackles, but a franchise right tackle, and you got a high level receiving threat that came out as basically the only real consistent viable threat in the passing game. You got that both in year one as rookies. Once again, can't hate on that. Beyond that, you've talking about guys who revived their careers. You can start with J.K. Dobbins. I mean, he had literally a career year. You're talking about a guy who had multiple career-threatening injuries, whether it be torn ACLs, Achilles tears. He literally comes back and has his best performance in the league under Jim Harbaugh. And again, I don't think it's a coincidence. For all intents and purposes, he should win Comeback Player of the Year. But I don't know I can't speak for what happens in the NFL. What I know right now is that as far as Coach of the Year goes, Jim Harbaugh isn't in the running, but somehow Sean Payton is. But the Chargers swept the Broncos. Y'all can try to make that make sense on your own time. I'm not going there. Anyway, beyond that, Poona Ford, someone that I was always a really big fan of, seemed to have fallen off a cliff, out of favor across the league. I believe he had been with Seattle most recently before the Chargers and was just literally out in the abyss, floating somewhere, comes into the Chargers organization and becomes a staple on their defensive line. And yeah, you absolutely have to bring him back. We can talk about guys I want to see re-signed another time, but Poona Ford is high up on that list, specifically speaking to it right now. You got Tier Tart, who bounced around, fell out of favor in a couple places. Some people didn't like his attitude because he felt like he needed to be more of a number one option in the interior defensive line. But he comes to the Chargers and plays a very significant role in a rotational situation. And there's an opportunity for him to continue to grow as well. Another free agent pending. So we'll see what they do as with him. Then you've got, this is going to maybe ruffle a little feathers, Christian Fulton. I mean, he played really well for like 7 or 8 games. Now, for the rest of those contests, not so great. But he came in and proved that for the most part, he can stay healthy and he can be a above average performer. Not so sure if they bring him back or not. But again, you're seeing guys who are coming in on these 1-year deals who are putting in work and proving themselves around the league so they can either re-sign with the Chargers or get some more bread elsewhere. But either way, they came in with a point to prove, and it's a solid strategy. You get these guys on these 1-year prove-it deals, and they have something to play for. But also, you hear them talk about their experience on this roster, and they all seem to be really enthusiastic about the opportunity to return, and that says a lot about the people who are in leadership. To avoid turning this into a complete glaze fest, we do have to address the areas of opportunity. So let's move right ahead and do that. Interior offensive line, just a mess all season long. From Zion to Trey Pipkins, who's not a right guard, who tried his best to play it anyway, and Bradley Bozeman, just kind of Curly, Larry, and Moe. Just was not a great mesh on the interior, so it has to be fixed. Don't be surprised if 2 of those names aren't on the team next season. Although I could see them bringing back Bozeman, but maybe in a backup role. And apparently he's a really good locker room guy. But Trey, just can't see it, especially since that's not his natural position. He should be a tackle. You let them work that out. It's not what I want to see going into next year, though. And then you need more offensive firepower. Pretty much all the skill positions, but specifically at tight end and wide receiver. I would love to bring J.K. Dobbins back. I do think there needs to be a bit of a change in the backfield as far as the running back core, should I say. Gus Edwards just couldn't get it going this year, mainly due to injury, but also I kind of feel like he was set up for failure because with Gus's running style, the interior of your offensive line has to be sound because he's a downhill guy. He's not someone who's going to make a bunch of cats miss in the backfield if someone gets instant penetration. Kind of like you saw J.K. Dobbins do throughout the year. He just didn't fit but it was also not necessarily a function of him not being very good anymore. It also had a lot to do with what was in front of him. And like I said before, that interior offensive line just did not mesh well with his running style. So he could also sort of end up being a casualty because of that, because he has another year on his deal, but I could absolutely see them letting him go. And then there's Kamani Vidal, who I was a huge fan of during last year's draft cycle. So I was stoked when the Chargers selected him. He starts off the year, comes out really strong with a huge reception for a touchdown. And at that point, it was stock up. And then season goes on and, he starts going through his rookie growing pains. And I was really expecting more from him when Gus was out and also when JK was down for a month. But he didn't necessarily take the bull by the horns and stand out a ton. Had a couple flash runs here and there. But other than that, just have to keep in mind, late round rookie draft pick, who I do still believe is going to be successful in his system due to his running style. But I'm going to keep harping on this. It's got to come with the improvement of the interior offensive line. I truly believe that. Aside from that, I still think they're probably going to add another back to the stable because this is a very, very deep class this particular year. If you need a running back, there are a bunch to choose from. Different styles, whatever flavor you want, it's there. So I do think Kamani will be able to contribute moving forward, but I still think Jim's going to get another guy because Jim loves his backs, as he should. And then good old Greg Roman. There's a lot of directions I could go with this, but I'm just going to stick with third down play calling because I feel like he put Justin Herbert in some really bad situations just in that game against the Texans. I keep alluding to it. I'm trying to avoid it. Can't help it. Where there were situations where there were just free runners off the edge, teeing off on Herbert. And, whether it came off the edge, whether it was through stunts and twists on the interior offensive line, he didn't have a ton of options. Now, some of that came down to the fact that they, as I mentioned before, need some more offensive weapons at the skill position. But sometimes play calling can help you free guys up, give them opportunities to get open, give Herbert some other options to get the ball out a little bit quicker. So got to improve there, Greg, amongst other things. But we're going to stick with that one for right now. And then, man, I just want to see Herbert have some more autonomy in the offense. Some of this might be a Herbert thing too also. I feel like Justin sees the play and he wants to run it and he wants it to work as it's drawn up. And then when it doesn't happen or doesn't necessarily develop the way that the play is supposed to for one reason or another, he sticks and stays on that first option, waiting for an opportunity to allow it to do what it was drawn up to do. And it's not always going to be that way. Now, sometimes during the year, you saw him break off of plays and, extend plays with his legs. And you see guys being able to do kind of the scramble drill and get open, and plays were continuously made. I don't feel like I saw enough of that from him this year. It happened in spurts, but then also just him in general taking it upon himself to use his legs to create. That absolutely did not happen against the Texans. I keep going back there, but I can't help it. It's one of the things or games that stand out to me the most. So I just want to see Herbert take more control and matters into his own hands because he's proven that he can do it. I just need to see it more consistently. I think they need to improve team speed overall also while we're on the subject of skill players. Talked about that a little while ago, but whether it be at the wide receiver position, whether it be a running back, definitely at tight end, because Will, the refrigerator Disley, for everything that he did great this year, that dude was moving in slow motion, which is why whenever he would juke someone out of their shoes, it was like he was almost moving so slow that they were thrown off by it because the jukes were also in slow motion. They look like glitches. And they still worked for some reason or another. But seeing Will Disley used in the screen game, even though it worked as often as it did, it was so ugly. You're talking about like not aesthetically pleasing. This is no slight to you, Will. You know what type of athlete you are. We will be honest with ourselves. It's important to have self-awareness. But just overall team speed needs to improve. Defense is fine. But if you could add a little bit more on that side of the ball, can't hurt. Especially on the edges, which is kind of where I want to go next. Khalil Mack, at the end of the year, was asked about whether or not he'd be back, and he said he needed to take some time, and it took him like 2 weeks before he came out and said that he wanted to come back. It's going to be his first opportunity to test the league as a free agent, but do I expect him to be back as a Charger? Yeah, honestly, I do. Even though the man's never won a playoff game before, and there are probably going to be teams that come a knocking that are near the top of the league that maybe offer him technically a better opportunity to play in the playoffs and maybe win a Super Bowl next season. I think he really believes in Jim Harbaugh and that staff, and he'll be back. That's my personal opinion. I don't know anything specifically. This isn't some insider thing. I just have a feeling about it. But they do still absolutely need someone that's hyper athletic on the edge, even if they're just like a situational pass rusher. And there are a couple of those guys that are going to be available in free agency if you don't want to necessarily have to use a draft pick super high, but they're going to have to invest in the edge position because I truly don't expect Joey to be back, especially not at the price that he has, the price tag that it's at right now. I think he's $37 million that he's owed next season. Joey only had, 5 or 6 sacks. You're not paying that amount of coin for that production. Just not going to do it, or lack thereof. And Joey just kind of feels like, I hate saying this, but he may have hit his ceiling and is on a bit of a decline. I hope I'm wrong, but whatever happens with him moving forward, the best of luck to him. I just can't see the Chargers bringing him back. But overall, they still need to get more athletic on the outside, because what you'll see are quarterbacks escaping the pocket too often and just getting free yards, because the edge rushers, once you break their contain, they're not chasing you down. So Chargers need to find a way to remedy that. And lastly, actually kind of ironically enough, having spoken about players who may not be back next season, there are 30 players from this past year's roster that are hitting free agency this offseason. Yikes. Now, for all that coin the Chargers have to play with the cap, and they could have significantly more if they do part ways with Joey Bosa, you're still going to have to look at replacing some players in key spots. And we're talking about many of these cats that signed those one-year deals. Now, I do feel like multiple of them have proven themselves and earned better deals, and you might be able to get some at really good rates. And I expect the Chargers to do that, because the truth of the matter is, and I'm saying this for folks out there that are just looking for them to go into free agency and just start spending like crazy on all the biggest names. That's not how you build out a team. I expect them to maybe get one superstar, quote unquote, player. And if they don't do that, one that's a high level guy. So for everyone out there that's wanting them to sign T. Higgins or the best possible tight end available on the market or edge rusher, or that's not really how you want to build out your team. Use free agency to supplement your team. You want to build through the draft. Where it gets tricky is when you have a draft class that's not very strong in positions of need. I do expect the Chargers have, because I do trust their scouting department. Like, look at what took place just this year, and they got some late round guys who are high level contributors. I think they'll do that, but you can't necessarily count on that to be the case every single year, as far as just getting these diamonds in the rough who stand out and become literal starters year ones, not something that's really the norm, not multiple players in that regard, should I say. So yeah, they'll spend in free agency, but they'll be smart about it. Joe Ortiz has already said that. So don't freak out when the player that you expect them to go throw a bag at, they don't necessarily do. Because again, you want to build your team for the long term. And I mean, unless you want to be like the Saints, which, a lot of my family members are probably watching this, so they're scowling at me right now, but y'all know the truth. Like, Sean Payton did y'all dirty. Mickey Loomis definitely did y'all no favors. They still don't have a coach as of today. I'm not going on the Saints rant because I know they're feeling it right now too. But anyway, that's pretty much it for me, man. I mean, ultimately, you got to be happy with the year. Like, put everything into perspective. Understand what took place here. Think about everything that the Chargers maneuvered this offseason to still find themselves into the playoff. New coach, multiple one-year players that had to be introduced into the scheme and perform at a high level, and produce regularly. And they were able to jumble all that stuff together and still make a winner in year one, which means the truth of the matter is that this is only the beginning. And that's what I take solace in. In years past, seasons have ended, and I was just kind of, I'd stare blankly thinking, well, what direction is this team going in? And more often than not, I wouldn't really have an answer. Like, in my mind, I felt like I thought I knew what they needed to do to improve, but it didn't necessarily mean that that's what the team would do. And more often than not, they didn't. Sometimes they just stand pat, and if they felt like they did a good enough job, then they just, continue on with what was on the roster or make, nominal moves here and there. And, Tom Telesco, he was king of hurry up and wait. So there would be positions that just weren't addressed until it was too late in the game and, whatever. But that's not what we're dealing with here. You're seeing success right off the bat with this coaching staff who you saw make moves, who you knew and were reported throughout the year to be trying to get other players that would improve the roster overall. So you should have nothing but the utmost confidence in the leadership here moving forward, because they are absolutely looking to bring a championship to Los Angeles. So that's enough for me. Until the next time, y'all know who it is. It's Mr. TOP_FLYT3 over on Twitter, aka Mr. Bowl Gang or Do Not Bang. And I'll be seeing you guys throughout the off season. Should be fun. Lots going on, and I'm excited. Now that the pain from the loss has worn off, mostly. There's a lot to look forward to, and that would be my recommendation to you as well. So until the next time, y'all take it easy, and Kate, love you, bye.
Well, there you go, folks. Another awesome Craig experience. Thank you so much, Craig.
Yeah, Craig, you're the
I'm
man.
jealous. I didn't get a funnel cake.
Dude, I had to.
I want one.
I could see Craig. He's like, no, dude, you can't have it right now. I was like, I got to go Uncle Kev on this and just like swoop into the line and grab him one. So I'm glad he enjoyed it. That was the highlight. Honestly, it was the highlight, getting to see him and hang out. And then it just kind of went down from there.
Yeah, I can only imagine. But I mean, I'm glad that, Craig was able to meet up with you. I mean, that's Craig's backyard. So being able to meet up with Craig, I wish I could have gone and met up with you too there, Craig. That would have been a blast. But yeah, I mean, and everything that you talked about, it all makes sense. It's all things that we completely agree with. I'm really excited to see what they end up doing with the draft. I mean, with the success of this draft, it's just like, all right, if they can nail it on this first draft, all these subsequent drafts should be consistent home runs, I would imagine. So,
well, I'm curious what they're going to do with Larry, Curly, and Mo.
Yeah,
that's what I'm interested in, and that's what I think. My first meeting, if I'm the head coach, is like, what do we do about Larry, Curly, and
just line them up?
Yeah, got to figure that out.
Yeah. The Tesla.
The
jukes
glitch.
looking like glitches.
Yeah, that's funny.
He did look slow. I mean, and that is absolutely an area that we need to be better at. I mean, part of that, needing that separation of wide receivers, that's speed. And we could use some speedy guys on this team.
Watching the Chiefs game, dude, we just need to get even like a slow and old Kelsey is still a problem.
Yeah.
Like, we just need to get like one of these young guys that's a top end tight end. Just get him that, because tight end has always been an outlet for Justin that he utilizes.
Yep.
So just gotta freaking bite. Just do it. Just get him one.
They'll do it. I believe in them. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Craig, thank you.
Thanks, man.
For another awesome Craig experience. And that means, folks, it's time to go on to the next segment, Ask Boltfam.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys.
Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated. Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy. That's right, folks. Time for Ask Boltfam, and we start at the top with Mr. Pekar.
Nice.
Who asked the question. Last week, I was browsing online for trainers to help me fulfill my New Year's resolution to lose weight when I came across an ad to train with Herbert and the boys. So I clicked yes, faster than I did when combo hitting on Street Fighter. I then filled out the information without reading the terms and conditions and checkmarking the box. Literally, 15 minutes later, I had a phone call with none other than Ben Herbert. I couldn't even remember what he said. I was so overjoyed. But I do remember him saying, "You nervous? You nervous?" I then received an email the next day to select my apartment room located inside the Bolt. So I, of course, selected the one right next to Jim Harbaugh's office. I could hear him now encouraging me, "Mr. Pekar, you're attacking this weight loss with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind." I then selected the 3 Chargers I would be training with: Justin Herbert, Joey Bosa, and Cameron Dicker. I then selected my diet plan, full of fresh pizza, guaranteed not to mess with my lactose-intolerant self, In-N-Out, and all of the fresh fish I could eat. Then I received a Zoom call from Ben. Yeah, we're on first name basis, letting me know what's up, and he will see me tomorrow to start our new journey. I went to bed, and then in what seemed like a blink of an eye, I was opening up the doors to the Bolt with Dicker, Bosa, and Justin Herbert, smiling, waiting to train with me. Everything was perfect, like that scene from Happy Gilmore. Justin said, "Sup?" I froze for a second and muttered, "Hello." Then my wife said, "Hi," and "Good morning." And then I realized it was only just a dream. I am still crushed. But anyways, to get your butt in gear for the new year, who would you want to train with at the Bolt? 3 current Chargers, no copycats or repeats, BTFU, FTR, SMB, and K. Love you, bye.
Good dream. Good dream.
Not gonna lie, you had me in the first half there, Bobby.
Yeah.
I was like, can you really train with Ben Herbert? Is that a thing?
No, he that was well done. Well done.
Nicely done,
Golf
sir.
club.
Hell of a dream.
Yeah.
I can only but I can picture it. I can imagine it. And it was gorgeous and beautiful.
It's glorious.
And yeah, so 3 Chargers we would want to train with.
It just depends on how in shape you want to get. Because if you want to get in shape, you go for a skill position guy and they're going to make you run. It's not going to be fun. Or you go hang out with the offensive linemen and you carb load and you bulk up.
And you bulk up.
And you just get stronger. So
sure.
I think Nick Hardwick would be a good one. Because he's a personal trainer, so he knows, like, he's worked with the normies before.
Yeah.
So, like, he won't be, like, blowing my knees out or anything. I'll stop. Why don't we go back and forth? I go Nick Hardwick.
Boy.
Wait, no, he said we can't. No copycats or repeats.
No copycats.
Okay, we're good. We can do this together. Teamwork.
Yeah. I agree on the lineman part. I think... But it'd be tough to not want to train with Justin Herbert. I feel like just seeing him there would make me go harder just to be like, I can't let him down.
And you would hurt yourself.
I know, but I would do it in the name of Justin.
But then you'd be hurt looking like a total loser laying on the ground in front of Justin.
He would probably be the first one to come over and be like, dude, you okay? And I'd be like, I am now. Now that you're here.
Or he'd be like, get up, pussy. And then you
I'm like, this is not like how I imagined this, Justin. It's like, shut up.
Get up. Give me 20.
Go in the
pool. Yeah.
All right. One other.
I know who can't come.
Who can't come?
No.
Oh.
Ben Herbert. I don't want to get my ass kicked at all. I just hurt my knee riding my Peloton, and I'm just literally riding a bicycle that doesn't move, and I hurt my knee. I go with Cameron Dicker. He's a big pool guy. I get some cannonballs. Cannonballs, you burn calories, right?
Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, there you go, Mr. Pekar.
I don't know if that wasn't the healthiest approach to that question, but
who cares?
Yeah.
Good luck with your weight loss journey.
You got it, dude.
Yeah. We're all rooting for you, buddy. Let's move it on now to Zach Shelton, who asked the question. I'm sorry to say this, but the Chiefs are ruining football. This is all based on the preferential treatment that they do get in every game. It's not fun to watch them. Keep getting win after win based on outside forces. As it relates to this team, we can't let the Chargers get swept anymore by them. We need to be the aggressor and start beating them. Maybe next season we split the series, but after that, we need to start sweeping the series. We need to be the team that wins AFC West every year and represents the AFC in the Super Bowl. My question is, are you ready for this team to overtake Kansas City in both the AFC West and the AFC?
I was born ready for this.
I've been waiting for this moment.
I remember when the Chiefs weren't a problem.
Yeah.
I remember going to games when I lived here in Missouri. going to games and them not being a problem. So one day that will happen again.
that day will come again.
hopefully it's not because they get bad. It's because we get good.
Better. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's what I want.
Yeah. 100%. And the luck has got to run out. Like something has to change. I mean,
we can't keep doing this.
We can't keep letting them getting away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel, and I don't know, I want things to change, but I feel like unless like the ratings go down for the Super Bowl in some weird way, that like, I don't it's not going to change.
So I did see some Barstool's pissed at the Chiefs. Pissed. Like
really?
All of the writers, everyone at Barstool's pissed. And they just released an article about how I guess the NFL is looking at like being able to review more stuff now next year because of all this shit.
Freaking better.
Like we're living in a world of AI. Why can't a computer decide if they got a first down or not?
Completely.
Not some 60-year-old dude that needs LASIK that is like running up.
Let me put on my reading glasses here.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like him arguing with the other guy. Like it's just like let's just take this out of the ref's hands that can ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
Like let's make this zeros and ones and zeros, make it math, make it make sense, help us all.
Yeah. Just a little consistency. Like if you're going to do that, do it for everybody. Don't just do it for the same mother-loving team week after week.
Well, apparently the Worthy catch in the last game was very similar to the Derwin James interception.
Oh, really?
And they got a touchdown and we got
See, it's
overturned.
Stuff like that just it doesn't make it fun
no
anymore. It takes the fun out of it, man.
Yeah. Come on, we need ones and zeros.
Ones and zeros, please and thank you. And I foresee that future, Mr. Shelton. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to the K-Man, who asked the question. What are the chances the Chargers sign Rashawn Slater to a big contract prior to the draft?
I say 90% chance.
Yeah. I got to imagine.
What was all that tip of the spear talk? You know what I mean?
That's just like, it's the biggest no-brainer thing to do.
Yeah.
You're keeping him, and why not get that settled? I mean, it's like getting a paycheck and being like, okay, well, I want to go on vacation, but I got to take care of my bills first. I got to take care of the essentials. Rashawn Slater is essential to this team. Let's take care of that first so I know how much money I can take to Vegas with me or something like that.
He's not frivolous spending. He's the utilities of this team. We need to pay them to keep the fucking lights on.
Yeah, the lights need to stay on, and that's Rashawn Slater.
Exactly.
All right? This is Monopoly. Rashawn Slater is the electric company, all right? So land on him, pass go, collect $200, and let's move on.
Yeah, let's call it a day.
So, and doing that before the draft, because you want to know, like, what are the areas that we need to address during the draft? Obviously, tackle should not be one of them because you should be re-signing Rashawn Slater. So, it should absolutely happen before the draft. I would be shocked if it didn't, but
I will.
There you go. K-Man, thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to Putts and Bolts, who asked the question.
Hey guys, been a while since I posted. Still listen to every episode though. It was great seeing you guys again at the Harbaugh game. Would love to be on Fan Focus, should that be available. Got 2 questions for you. I am so unlucky going to home games. I still haven't been to a home win at SoFi, but I've been lucky to see some wins on the road. Which road game would you be most likely to go to next season, given the opponent and their city? Secondly, what are your thoughts on the DK Metcalf rumor? I think he would fit in nicely, and I'm not just saying that because I like to see him bench press Lad over a nice Manhattan Beach sunset after a training camp practice. As always, love the show. FTR FTB, Mahomes is a bitch, and the rest can suck my butt. Okay, love you, bye.
Love it.
Well, I'm sad that he hasn't been to a home win yet. So those are awesome.
I've only been to a few in the recent years, but yes, we got to get you one.
Yeah, we don't give out hope on that, please.
No, don't.
Please keep coming.
And anyone listening to this, I've been talking to a lot of people on social media about getting a Fan Focus. I am pulling my shit together. Fan Focuses are coming back. We're starting anew. Okay. email me. This is where I'm going to start scheduling people right away. Okay. We're going to start making a schedule. Go to email me at thechargerchat@yahoo.com. Thechargerchat@yahoo.com. Email me, and I'm going to look there first to start setting these up. So if we've talked in the past, just send me an email there. Yeah, write it down. Send me an email there, and then we will get it rocking. Because I can't keep track of all the messages we get from all the months ago that we talked about stuff. I apologize. I'm terrible. I need an assistant. Don't have one. This is what you got.
Yeah.
So hit me up at thechargerchat@yahoo.com.
All right. And so, yeah, we definitely got to get him on Fan Focus. Which road game would we most likely to go to next season?
We talked about this.
Well, we talked about it on the Zoom Hangout.
On Patreon, yeah.
On Patreon.
There's one that makes the most sense because it's not the Kansas City game, because we usually go to those games.
Yeah, that's usually a game.
Outside of that one, the one that makes the most sense is the Tennessee game, because we can drive there in like 5 hours.
Yeah, there are a couple chances. I know it's not Germany, but there are a couple chances that the Chargers might have an international game. I know one of them is potentially against the Dolphins because they play in Madrid, and one of them is potentially the Jaguars, and they typically play in London. Man. I'm not saying that that's a likely scenario, but I would love to go to a London game. I think that would be so much fun.
I'm still holding out hope.
I know you are.
Germany.
I know you are.
It would be fun to go to London, but honestly, like after this last playoff game, all the travel to not, like, if they could guarantee me they're going to win no matter what, I would do it. But to spend 3 days traveling to just maybe. I just don't. After that last playoff loss, I just don't have it in me.
I totally
this
get
upcoming season.
At the very least, with an international game, there's not like a home team. Like, yes, there is a home team, but it's not like they're not the London Jaguars. It's
still like, I
know
it could be a stadium full of robots, and I would walk out of there being like, "Why did I come here, man?
Ha 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 ha! You suck! Ha ha! Who's sucking butt now?
Yeah, but they would sound English.
You are the one who is the butt sucker, mate, governor, pip pip,
cheerio.
But yes, backing on to what Kevin said, Nashville seems like the most likely of scenarios because that's within driving distance for us.
Yeah.
So
and it all depends on work schedule and when these games happen. But
absolutely, we need that.
Things can be done if they're close.
Yeah. If we got nothing else interfering, that would be the one I think we would love to go to.
And just so you guys know, we had a really good time on Patreon with our watch parties. So maybe consider it, because you don't need to be like the crazy high tier to get to do the watch party. So maybe next year, if you want to just hang out with us for normie games, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. And let's see.
Patreon.com/ChargerChat.
That's it. And yeah, dude, the DK Metcalf rumor.
Yeah, you have a take. I like your take on. I'm interested in your take on this. I don't know if I fully agree, but I'm interested in it.
No, for sure. Like, is he a good player? Absolutely. The guy is a talented individual. But I see more highlights of him getting into it with other players. I don't know if he gets into it with his own team, but definitely the defensive side where like you start getting flags thrown. And I don't know if it's a diva situation. I don't know if he's
just so big and strong. Everyone else is like,
absolutely. I mean, like I'm saying, the guy is a talented individual. And if we sign him, absolutely go DK Metcalf. But I just don't think personality wise that he meshes well with this team. And I would much rather see other wide receivers that are going to be available, like T. Higgins. I mean, we've been all talking about T. Higgins and banging the table for T. Higgins. I don't know if that's going to be likely or not, though.
What if DK came here and all of those things went away?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if there was a coach that I trusted to get that out of him,
you trust?
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
But now, that's the other wrinkle, too. Now that Pete Carroll has reared his mug back into the football world, who says that he doesn't go play with his old coach now with the Vegas Raiders? So I don't know. I like I said, if we sign him, let's go DK Metcalf all the way. I want him to be the best.
Can I tell you something just an offshoot of that was really funny? So they did the press conference with the Raiders and him, and their new coach said, we really want to get these home games, home field advantage at these games. Like, they know they don't have home field advantage anymore at all. Yeah.
Wow.
It's how the tables have turned, Raider fans. You don't go to your own games. Man.
The only AFC West opponent to not make the playoffs. So, all right. Well, there you go. Putts and bolts. Don't forget to email Kev, thechargerchat@yahoo.com. Get on the list, buddy.
Get on there.
Get on it.
Too sweet.
Thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to Paul Zemaripa.
Hey guys, with the off season upon us, I have a few questions I'd love to get your opinion on. First, do you know if Justin and Phillip Rivers have ever met or been seen in public together? I've never heard or read about Justin talking about their relationship. Do you think Phil would be a good offensive coordinator for the Chargers? And do you think Justin would be willing to learn how to read defenses better from Phil? Justin took way too many shots from unblocked defenders. With Nick Hardwick and Phil being so close, you would think it would be a no-brainer. I would love to see the two of them work together. Thanks again, and Kay, love you, bye.
I love when Phil comes back into these questions.
I know, when he's like mentioned and just good old Phil.
I don't see why he couldn't be a really great offensive coordinator. He has chosen a different life. He is coaching a high school with his son, maybe when his son graduates.
Yeah.
Because he's like ranked, like his son Gunnar is ranked like 4 for his class or 3 for his class.
Oh, wow.
He's already gotten like offers to his dad's alma mater and some other schools. So Gunnar coming in hot,
nice.
Pun intended.
Love that.
But yeah, so I would love to. I'd be curious. Like he's been doing football his whole life. He calls most of his own plays. He's been under all these different offensive coordinators.
Oh, totally.
I don't see how he wouldn't be a great option. Will he be the Chargers offensive coordinator? Doubt it.
Yeah,
but Phil can do whatever he wants. He's Phil.
Absolutely. I mean, we did see that there was a video. It was last year, right? That Phil went to SoFi.
Yeah, for Antonio Gates.
Antonio Gates. Yeah. And I think, if I remember, there was an interview too that I think he talked to Justin Herbert, or at least talked about him.
Yeah.
And I feel like Justin said that like he at least had a phone call with him.
I think it was during that game. That was during that game they like saw each other or something. I don't think they're like best of friends. It's not like Dan Fouts where he sat down and did that video where they were watching old game tape together or anything. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Fouts has a bigger connection to Phil, and understandably so. They were both Oregon Ducks, but I mean, I would love for Phil to have a bigger connection with Herbert, obviously. But
yeah, if it were to happen on any team, it would be the team that Harbaugh's coaching, because he's all about bringing former players back to coach.
Sure. So. Dude, that would be amazing to see a training camp and out comes our bolo tie, cowboy boot wearing.
He throws down a QB challenge. Remember how you used to do those QB challenges?
Oh, if there was a QB challenge between Justin Herbert and Phillip Rivers.
Oh, my God.
I would buy tickets.
I would literally buy tickets to go.
I would fly out there, buy tickets to watch the 5-minute QB challenge.
That's all I want.
So, yeah. So there you go, Paul. We'd love to see all of that. And who knows? We might see more in the future now with Jim Harbaugh running the reins.
We'll see. When Gunner's done in high school, we'll see what old Phil Rivers.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't have any other kids that are interested in football. I know that's the problem. I think
he's got a lot of girls, and then he's got another son like later.
Yeah.
So maybe he wants to kick the can down a little bit in the NFL and then go back for when his other son is playing. Go. Who knows?
Who knows what's going on in Phil's head? But thank you, Paul, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Andrew Ramsey, who asked the question. Kyle, war, yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. War, yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, y'all. War, good God. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Listen to me. War. All right. Questions. 1, Did you get nervous? Or did it invoke any sort of emotion, Kyle? If it did, I win. LOL. Rent-free is the way to be. Number 2, would the Chargers be better Super Bowl contenders in the NFC versus the AFC? Has that been our curse all along? Should Dean move the team to North Carolina and become the Carolina Superchargers? Kid, love you, bye.
Dude, Kyle just ducked you so freaking hard.
He's so lucky that he's working through something right now.
You bring your A game, and he's like, I'm not showing up. Andrew's bringing his A game today. I love it. Nice try, Ramsey. Maybe next time. Didn't use the magic word. So.
But as far as moving the Chargers to the NFC, I mean, hey, dude, I would say AFC is probably the hardest of the two.
AFC West. It's the Chiefs are always in the Super Bowl. It's not even like the AFC. It's just the West, what we're in.
Yeah. So you're saying if we could be the AFC North, we'd be in better situation.
Any other AFC team, you'd have any other AFC division, you'd have a better chance.
Let's see.
The facts.
It is facts.
At least for the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah. AFC East wouldn't make too much sense.
Well,
AFC South, we would wreck.
I do there's some of them are so soft where you have like teams with like 8 wins getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it just is what it is. Like we're just, unless they redrew the boundaries, because I know that they had one where it was like Kansas City isn't really West. They're more aligned with like Texas and some of these other like Houston. Like if you were to like save, miles flying, you wouldn't have us play them all the time because we're like traveling a lot. So I don't know. It's not going to happen. And honestly, I don't want it to happen. I want to fucking beat them. I'm not walking away or hoping there's a better conference. We have a better shot of winning.
Right.
Any way you slice it, you're going to have to run into them at some point, whether that's in the Super Bowl or in the AFC Championship. That's just what it is until they're not what they are anymore.
I think Ramsey's just being selfish because he wants the team closer to him in North Carolina.
That's not happening. You have a team. You already have a team in Carolina. You suck.
They can share a stadium too, Ken.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, Mr. Ramsey. We'll see you again next week. Yeah. Thank you for asking the question.
Good luck next week.
Good luck next week, buddy. Let's move on now to Athair Kadir.
Athair.
We'll ask the question. Judge and Chad, my lovely brothers. I hope Coach Kyle is back, baby. Sorry to disappoint Athair. First, I want to say this. My offseason bold prediction, baby. Our wide receiver future was Ladd, DK, QJ, Darius Slayton, and Dede. Our running backs, JK, Vidal, and Aaron Jones, baby. Yes, I said it, baby. Our tight end, Andrews and Loveland. And the interior O-line will be free agents, baby. Now I got 2 questions for you, baby. First, who are you stopping? LMAO. Second, can our defense be in top 6 in all statistic categories, baby? We start as always with my lovely coach, the great Kyle, followed by my awesome friend Kevin, and we close it with my love, my heart, my life forever, baby, Wool Dog. Bold prediction. Herbert gets his MVP and lead the Bolts to 14-3 record with Coach Harbaugh's AFC juggernaut, bitches. San Francisco, here we come. Let's go, baby. All right, Coach Kyle.
Yeah. Sorry, Athair. He ain't here.
Sorry, buddy.
He'll be back. I promise he'll be back. It's not this week.
All right, but as far as your questions, yeah, bold prediction. I mean, if we were to get DK, obviously he's a stellar player. Ladd, DK, QJ, Darius Slayton. That's a wrinkle that I haven't necessarily heard yet. And Dede. Love that. Running backs, JK, Vidal, and Aaron Jones.
I'm not going to say no to those. I just don't know how likely the Aaron Jones one is, especially if you re-sign JK.
Yeah.
Because I think most everyone else is on a contract. The only guy that's not in that room right now that isn't on a contract next year is JK. So if you re-sign him, I think that's still your running back room. They might draft somebody, but I think
I was going to say there's some running backs in this draft that are going to be pretty enticing. And I know some of them are going to go early. Janty, for sure. Yeah. Scatabo, probably.
Yeah.
But there's still some other running backs that I think could be pretty impactful.
Yeah, it's pretty deep this year.
So who are they stopping? Nobody. I mean, that's a pretty solid team. I mean, I still agree with Craig. I think we need some good speed on this team, and I don't know how speedy some of these guys are. But can the defense be top 6 in all statistic categories? Totally.
Has it been done? Yeah. You just want a dominant defense. Like,
I mean,
but hey, you start with giving up the least amount of points, and
it's a good start.
That's a building block. We'll just put that at the bottom, and then we'll build from there. So maybe next year it's like 4 out of the 6.
Yeah,
and then we win the Super Bowl, and then the next year it's 6 out of the 6. I'm in. I'm feeling it.
Or is it just top 6? So like we could be number 1.
I think he's talking about all the categories.
Yeah. So number 1 in points allowed, number 4 in sacks, number 6 in interceptions, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's more. What he's talking about?
I think he's saying. Wait, can I have his speed?
Top 6.
No,
in
the top
in all statistic categories.
See that I feel like a comma.
Are there 6 categories?
I don't understand. I'm not trying to decipher this. I think it was more than that.
Yeah, trying to decipher an Athir message. Wait.
Yeah. Yes. My answer is yes. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Our defense could be top in all 6 categories. There are statistics. So yeah, we're all here for it, Athir. Dominant defense,
defensive football,
unstoppable offense. What's not to love? 14-3, here we come, baby. Thank you, Athir, for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with Tony Francis, who asked the question.
Yes.
What's up, soldiers? What a normal football week. Fly, Eagles, fly, and Mahomes magic in full effect. My first question is directed at you, Coach. Oh, shit. How the hell are you? Well, what are your thoughts regarding all these Padre players leaving the squad? I know this is a Chargers podcast, but are the Padres this year? My next question is directed at you, Kev. If you had to be completely unbiased, who do you think will win the Super Bowl? And my last question is directed at you, Wolldog. What away game are you looking forward to the most next year? I'm excited to visit Nashville, Tennessee myself. As always, the Raiders, burn the kingdom, kick the donkeys, down with Mahomes witchcraft, and suck my butt. All right, Coach Kyle, first question's out.
Yeah, sorry, Coach. Sorry, but I will say we haven't had. This isn't a Padres podcast, and I am a Padres fan.
Yeah,
but we're
San Diego natives.
We're not spending the way LA is spending. That's for sure. We've had a couple years, when Peter was alive, that we were doing stuff, and it's just not. We're not making splashes and not retaining everyone like I thought we might. But hey, that's baseball. This is football.
Yeah. So they're not totally f***ed.
They're just kind of f***ed.
All right. All right, Kev. If you're completely unbiased, who do you think will win the Super Bowl?
Completely unbiased? The Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
I know.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would we have any reason to think that this game would go any differently?
No, there was some record I saw. There's some stat where like they've won 16 consecutive one possession games, one score games, like 16 consecutive.
Yep.
So if it's anywhere even slightly close, they're going to win.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm hoping for is Saquon Barkley just decides, you know what? This and just runs all over their asses. That would
be awesome.
And that's where I'm putting my money at Underdog Fantasy.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like that.
Going for it.
Yeah. I think the whole world is rooting for the Eagles to dethrone the Chiefs at the very least.
At least the people that weren't burned by the Eagles fans, which apparently they're a bunch of a-holes.
Yeah. The city of brotherly love.
Not much
Get out of here.
Yeah. Get out of here.
And as far as game I'm looking forward to, away game I'm looking forward to most, I'm certainly the Nashville game is one I would be looking to go to.
Yeah,
that would be a fun one to go to. But I really do hope they have an international game. I know It's probably not the best for the players, long flights, different time zones. I mean, but if there was any coach that I would trust to make sure the team was prepared, it's Jim Harbaugh. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'd love to see them do an international game. I think those are just fun to watch. And plus it's early in the day. Get it done.
Yeah.
Got the rest of the day for activities.
Yeah, it's true.
But
wake up for the 8 a.m. game, 9 a.m. game, or whatever it is.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're talking about going to Nashville, Tony, we might see you there if scheduling allows. We still got to wait. I can't wait to see what they do for the schedule release this year.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fire.
It's gonna be great.
Tony, thank you, buddy, for asking the question, and thank you everybody for asking questions. And Ask Boltfam, we greatly appreciate it. It's what makes these episodes what they are, and it's the full off season right now. And God, we got to wait another week to officially put this friggin' season to bed, and hopefully that Eagle team can make something happen. But
I think we have another 2 weeks.
Is it 2? No. Well, I guess, yeah, technically. We got one more
2.
empty weekend and then the official weekend.
That's 2 full weeks.
Gross. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts there, Kev?
Oh, by the time we talk next time, it will have been your birthday. So happy birthday to you, Wool Dog.
Oh, little me.
Little early birthday present. Little early birthday shout out. Love you some Wool Dog.
For those that didn't see my new Twitter profile picture, Kevin's kids drew me this kick-ass card. I love it with all my heart and soul, and the blue bolt on the back.
Yeah.
And
that's how they see you. You're just a beard.
Suck it, Kyle.
Yeah. I love how you're just like a head with a beard and legs. Can we see that one more time?
Absolutely. The resemblance is uncanny.
It's just legs sticking out of your beard.
Yeah.
That's how my kids see you.
Just 2 little legs.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I love it. Thank you, buddy. And all right, folks. Well, we'll catch you on the next episode. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Can love you, bye.
Can love you, bye.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Need an electrician who knows how to keep your home safe? Look no further than Rashawn Slater's Electric Company. At Rashawn Slater's Electric Company, we're more than just an electrical service. We're your first line of defense against a blackout. You can count on us to protect your grid so you never get sacked by a blackout again. From wiring upgrades to surge protection, we're always the tip of the spear when it comes to keeping your lights on. Rashawn Slater's Electric Company. No blitzing, no sacks, just pure electric power.